Good news, everybody. This is Wolfotech coming directly to you over the internet via the YouTube video sharing platform. And there is this rumor that's floating around that Nintendo is actually pulling or recalling Wii U stock from the stores. Uh, this rumor was reportedly came from someone who worked at Best Buy. And after further review, and I've personally went to GameStop, Best Buy, a few other places, and then contacted some of the people I know who work for said companies. As far as shipments are concerned of the Wii U, that is pretty much stopped. So Lithium's suggestion of waiting for a price drop, it's not going to work, okay? First and foremost, if you are thinking of getting a Nintendo Wii U, if you do not get one soon, you may only be limited to what is already out there used. So, we are officially, from here on, and I've talked with people who worked at Best Buy and multiple other places, they're not getting shipments of Wii U's anymore. So, we're officially at that point where the Wii U is a past system. And from here on, the number of Wii U's of the particular model that's on the market currently that's freaky, huh? Jump cut. So the Wii U is now limited supply. It's now a collectible item. I already have mine. Do you have yours? Furthermore, this model is no longer in production. That is a proven fact. Nintendo has officially stated that. And shipments are pretty much end. The rumor is that Nintendo is buying back Wii U stock. My friends with Best Buy said they pulled their stock from the store. So whether it's sent somewhere else or, like off-site to another company, like Big Lots or something like that, or liquidation house, or Nintendo actually did buy back the system. There will be no more of these. Get one if you can find it. Oh, by the way, there will be no price drop. This is already sold at a loss. Nintendo does not want to reduce the price any more than what it is. It is what it is. Now, on to the next possibility. First and foremost, there is often typically a slimline economy version of a system released shortly after. In the case of the NES, the Super NES, and the Wii, there are revised mini versions of those systems. Smaller, simpler construction. As simple as that. I seriously doubt that this is going to be the case. As with any system, all the Nintendo systems that have sold very few numbers of units, like the GameCube and this, there typically is not a economy redesign of the system. However, I hold out hope that Nintendo might make an updated version of the Nintendo Wii U. I like to call it the Super Wii U, or the Wii U 2. That's madness, isn't it? And have that add in more memory, more internal memory, so you can store more games on it, and add back in the GameCube backwards compatibility. That would be wonderful. Those two things, Nintendo, if you haven't, I don't know why Nintendo would ever come across my channel and watch my video, but if you happen to re-release the Wii U, but add in GameCube disc backwards compatibility, physical backwards compatibility for GameCube games, and ports for the GameCube, so people could use GameCube accessories and controllers naturally with the Wii U, call it the Super Wii U. You could include also more memory, where you say like 64 128 gigabyte internal storage. That would be super awesome. But if you just simply do those two things, you will sell a whole bunch of these again. Question is how many, but you'll pretty much resell to your core fan base all over again. I understand why you would be, if Nintendo is completely discontinuing this, because Nintendo has this, I came to this strange epiphany quite some time back, looking at my NES, Super NES, N64, GameCube, Wii, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, DS, Virtual Boy, 3DS games. Nintendo has a strange problem that its fan base likes to retroactively buy or collect older Nintendo system games. So, in a strange sense, that back in the 90s when Sega was releasing a whole bunch of different peripherals, 32X and the Pico, and that's not a peripheral. Pico is actually another system meant for kids. But the Pico and the 32X, the Game Gear, the Sega CD, and the Sega Saturn popped out pretty quickly after that. Sega kind of overlapped all their brands ahead, and they had multiple platforms. That is essentially what is happening now with the Nintendo fan base, is that Nintendo fans are old enough that we are buying the new stuff, but going to flea market stores, whatever, and finding old NES games, Super NES games, N64 games from my childhood. My childhood was the NES, Super NES, N64. Some other people's might have been the GameCube, Wii U, Wii. Oh my God, Wii U. That is too soon to be a childhood thing, and you being on the internet. That's just one of those things. The internet's not a place for little kids, but Sega essentially took many console generations, console hardwares, and compacted them into a shorter period of time. So essentially, Sega predicted what would eventually happen to a Nintendo, to a video gaming brand after many years of many platforms. Some people are starting to go back and buy PlayStation. I mean, original PlayStations and PlayStation 2s, because that's what they have grown up on. Uh, in the case of the NES, the Super NES, the N64, that is even further back. Even more people are going back and buying those. Sadly, I have to go back and rebuy almost everything for the Super NES because I had a relative who pawned all of it, except for some of the rarest games I had, which I kept for myself because I wasn't going to release them. But essentially, what is happening is that the Nintendo fan base is busy buying. Oh, I recently bought this at Best Buy, the Classic Color or 30th edition Mario. I happened to buy this at Best Buy, as well as the new Metallica CD. But if you're interested in me doing a review of CDs, say so. say so in the comments. But the Nintendo fan base is busy buying these. The Nintendo fan base is busy going back and buying this and this, hunting down classic games from their childhood. By the way, I love Adventure Island. Uh, Part of me dies a little bit because Konami owns Hudson Soft now. That is like, give me an ulcer. I got cancer from that statement. Konami owns Hudson. Ugh. And I used to love Konami. But anyways, me and many other Nintendo fans and gamers are going back and buying classic stuff. And the time and effort, the money you, me, classic Nintendo fans are spending on classic games is not money spent on new games in the store. So Nintendo, in a strange way, is competing against itself because its fan base is buying not just the new stuff, not just the semi new stuff, the older stuff, but the really old stuff. And a good chunk of this is just simply because it is the only way to play that game. By the way, a few of the Hudson Adventure Island games happen to be on the 3DS eShop and the Nintendo Wii U eShop. They're awesome games. Ever get time to play one of them, do so. It's one of those really well-defined, refined action platformers with minimum interaction. I really would like to find Super Adventure Island 2, which is a remake of my favorite Adventure Island, which is Adventure Island 2 for the NES. Adventure Island 2 for the NES is my favorite Adventure Island of the first three. There's also a fourth Adventure Island that never made it to the States. I also have Adventure Island on the Game Boy, the Chinese version of Adventure Island on the Game Boy, and that is mind-blowingly easy. I put it in the Game Boy, I bought it the first time, started playing, and I'm all the way to the 6th island, no sweat. Oh, I kind of have the same feeling with the Mega Man games for the Game Boy too. Those are all really easy except for the Game Boy Advance, DS ones onward. But I basically just explained and made an example of one of Nintendo's issues is the fact that as a fan base, we are not just buying the new stuff, we're buying the old stuff. And when we buy the old stuff, we're not buying the new stuff with that money for the old stuff. And whenever we end up with a situation where scalpers take the NES Classic Edition and put it up on eBay for $200, $300, $400, and one of the crazy Nintendo fanboys goes out and buys it for that price, and it's originally only a $60 system, the difference in the $60 to the $400 could have been spent on food, rent, other video games. So, whenever scalpers come about, please don't fucking buy from scalpers. If you don't buy from scalpers, there wouldn't be any scalpers. If scalpers bought something and no one would buy it from them, they would not buy any more of that. If they buy something, they buy a NES Classic Edition, mark it up to $200, someone buys it instantly, they could take that $200, roll it back onto a few more NES Classic Editions, maybe another 2 or 3, sell those, and then roll the money back. And then they buy like 6, sell, roll the money back. They buy 12, they roll the money back, and you end up with an escalating issue. This is literally what happened to the Amiibo. This is what happened to the Amiibo, is that they managed to buy out accumulatively across multiple scalpers buying a bunch of Amiibo, making a few of them rarer, making them really hard, people wanting to collect them all, which then results in people saying, I'm going to buy from a scalper. Why did you buy from a scalper? So you go and buy from a scalper, and then all of a sudden, that scalper takes that $150 they made off of that and roll a part of it back into more Amiibo. So with one Amiibo, which is $12.99, they make $150 or $80 or something like that. They buy another 4 to 10 Amiibos. Does it make sense now? Really, does it make sense? Does it make sense why the Amiibo craze was so bad? Even when Nintendo was increasing production amount, the scalpers had the capacity, because they had the bankroll in their pocket from buying the first few Amiibo piles, to buy even larger and larger piles of Amiibo. Now, the only thing that really ends up in the end is a ton of Amiibo on the market, because Nintendo has to forcefully ridiculously overproduce Amiibo to overcome the scalpers' buying power. So all the fucktards who think these things are worth a lot of money, I don't know why I still have them in the cases, I just do because I don't use them that much. I use them in Splatoon to unlock things I cannot unlock. I use them when I cannot unlock stuff that you cannot unlock by long gameplay. I'm immune to grinding fatigue. I can grind and I can grind, I can grind, I can grind. But that is why the Amiibo crisis got so bad. And that is why people who bought Amiibo as an investment are morons. Because by Nintendo having to produce enough to defeat the scalpers, they effectively produce so many of them that all the collectors cannot cannot buy them all or have a reason to own as many as they do or could to take up the stock that is in existence. So there is benefits to scalpers if you are not a fool who bought into scalpers. I got this guy today, as of this video, at Best Buy. I picked up that gold Mario up there from Best Buy. I happened to be at GameStop today, as of this recording of this video, and I saw a bunch of gold Marios. Nintendo's producing more gold Marios. Nintendo's producing more of these. Nintendo's producing more of those. And those. And those. And not those, because those are Mega Man Battle Network NTs up there. But yeah, those I found at a Walgreens in the discount cart. I'm a big Mega Man fan. Big into Mega Man, big into Mario, big into Zelda. I really love Kirby. I also really enjoy Star Fox. But that is my tail end rant of why you do not buy from scalpers, and why when scalpers jack up insane prices for stuff, why it is no longer a good investment to buy into that thing. Because when companies have to produce enough units to overcome the scalpers' buying power, there's going to be a lot of those units out there. And a lot of units in the market in a smaller base means that there's now excess units in existence that just float around out there. Some people might collect them eventually and add them to their collection, but the value is not there. I also have this Tom Nook and this Mabel, which I happen to pick up at Walmart for $1. If you watch any of my past videos, I will sometimes pull out Amiibo. I got this. I got this Tom Nook for $1. There's people on eBay selling Tom Nooks for $150 when it was new. Okay? The scalpers were trying to buy them up, jack them up. People bought them $150. And I bought one for $1. I could have bought another 8 or 10 of them for $1. There was also another 4 or 5 Mabels there for $1. So as the Joker says, just go loony. When the world gets you down, stupidity of the masses all abound. Just go loony. Thank you very much for watching my video. Thank you very much for watching it to this point. If you watched this video all the way to this point, the magic word is Gizmo. 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 You know Gizmo from Gremlins. That is the magic word. Type that in the just comments below, or just lace it into a comment somewhere if you made it to this point in the video. Thank you very much.